Eastside, you see how we do it?
It was so...
We make it easy.
We know that Detroit is on its way up. We're glad to be a part of that. We're glad for our families to be a part of this story.
After a year, I found it to be just a wonderful community where I knew more neighbors than any place we've ever lived.
I don't know if I would have done this anywhere else. How cool is that?
I'm looking forward to things going smooth. No flat tires, no dogs running out, and nobody like, I'm tired, because it's going to be an easy pace. And we gonna hear some stories, hopefully from some grandma. You know, the old people got the good stories.
I want people to be consumers in our neighborhood. I'm tired of people coming into our neighborhood and making us consumers. And so it's important that we develop relationships and Grosse Pointe see the value that we bring, the value that will pull them across to become consumers and become neighbors and not have these episodic and transactional relationships.
We're really looking forward to like hearing like a different theme. So, you know, for Core City, it was about, you know, the people, right? In the Southwest, it was about resistance. And then I think really next week, I think we're gonna be hearing about like love and like neighborhood and, you know, looking out for the person across the street.
Eastside Community Network is a 32-year-old community development corporation that focuses on the sustainable revitalization of Detroit's Lower East Side through systemic change, facilitation, and education. In any given arena, in any given project, what we like to do is put residents in the driver's seat on projects in their neighborhood planning. We want to also uplift the native human stories of the neighborhoods that we serve.
People outside of Core City asking if I could bring this type of bike ride to their neighborhood. And so I applied for the Night Cities Challenge and I won to host in different parts of Detroit. So this is the second one this summer, it's the third all around. We did it in Southwest Detroit a few weeks ago. So the bike ride will depart from Mash Detroit, which is on Mac.
The whole notion of Mash Detroit was really to create a destination hub of organic social collision in a neighborhood that brings neighborhood enrichment, residential connections, cross-border connectivity between Detroit and Grosse Pointe, but more than anything, bringing the quality, the energy, and the talent that you normally would see in a downtown and midtown to a community that's really embedded in Detroit's history.
Hey, so Pastor Reed. Hey, how you doing? So this is Daryl Reed. This is Cornetta Lane.
How are you doing?
This is the pastor I was telling you about.
Hello, how are you?
Does a lot of work in the Morningside neighborhood as well as EEV. So tell Cornetta about your building across the street.
I have a crazy building across the street.
It's a plug back there.
And it's used to be a dance hall built in 1922. And my beautiful one. Yes,
Nice.
I daily, matter of fact, I dance by myself or with my kids. I have two kids, a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. I'm an artist, and we have this crazy place. We built a photo studio. I know nothing about photography, but I built a world-class studio up there for fashion photography. We're building an art gallery. We're putting artists in there. I want artists around me. I'm so happy that Marlo's here. I can't tell you. So that's what I do. But we've had this kind of crazy ride coming here. We've been here for 6 years now.
So he also lives.
I live here.
Where do you live?
In the studio. Right?
Oh, okay.
Built it all myself.
Yeah, but tell her about the commercial bottom.
Commercial bottom, meaning the space downstairs. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have a gallery downstairs.
Craft Detroit.
And also the craft cafe.
Yeah.
And she rents out from me, and we have other space for other artists and fine arts. I have photo stuff going on there all the time. I do murals with children. To get to know my neighbors around here, I had a beach party not too long ago. I shipped in 12 yards of sand. Had DJ Invisible come by. A couple of guys from Public Enemy showed up.
What?
Oh yeah. And also, both DJ Invisible, he DJs for Eminem and Exhibit, Public Enemy, and so and it wasn't me. It was me. And I painted Mac Avenue blue, and
Like the pavement?
yeah, painted it all blue, and so it looked like shore, and brought out some surfboards and
Nice.
and
You went all in.
Oh yeah, had hot dogs and lemonade, and just wanted to meet my neighbors. It was a good way to meet, and it turned out to be very good. Not too far down the road, I had a minor break-in from some person that was deranged. And my neighbors, after that, I was an hour away. Somebody broke a window and broke in and took a bike away. But I had 5 phone calls within 10 minutes. The next door neighbor went and sent his son and to Home Depot to board up my place. Homeless guy was guarding my back door like this because he broke the back door going out of the place. All these people came together. It was the best neighborhood I've ever lived in my life. And they all came together. I came home in an hour. Police had my bike. The neighbors were standing outside of my house like it was the worst thing in the world, you know what I mean? And my window was boarded up. I had nothing to do. I came home for no reason whatsoever. They had it all taken care of. These are my neighbors. This is my community. This is, you know, and I've told everybody, this community has changed a lot in the 6 years I've been here. A lot. And I hope in a major part of ECM was a big part of that change. But there are great changes going on around here. And my total goal is I have a 4-year-old son. And if he can walk over across the parking lot to Rite Aid at 7 years old, go get himself a piece of candy without telling his dad, I'm cool with that. If he can't, I gotta move. And that's where I'm at. So I got 3 more years of my kind of plan that I had put forth, and we'll see what happens. You know, it's been really amazing. It's been amazing, and it was a lot more than even my wife and I ever expected.
So I would like for you to share that story on the 17th.
It is a dopey story.
No. Dope.
Oh, sorry.
Dope.
I'm not hip to the vernacular.
So that's for you.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna have to refine it though, because it's boring. You know, it's
but it talked about how everyone pitched in, and I think that was something that you don't normally assume, right? Like, because a lot of people.
I could live in Birmingham in a very expensive house, and I would never know my neighbor.
Yeah.
And my window gets broken into. The alarm goes off. Yeah, the police are there right away. But what? You know what I mean? Like, at that point, my neighbor's all worried about me. I'm the crazy old white dude that's rolling around here on a skateboard. You know what I mean? Like, they all know me. You know, and they think I'm wacky as hell. You know, and that's fine. You know, and but so's my wife. No, I don't believe it. But
So you're gonna tell your story? Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. What's your address?
In the evening, you know, people are suspicious. Like, why are you knocking on my door in the evening? What are you selling? Yada, yada, yada. So I think, you know, I mean, y'all just dress too regular.
We got shirts. We got shirts.
I just worry about that. Like in my neighborhood, we get people that try to come door to door all the time, and I'm always skeptical.
Right. Do you bike? You don't? Give them a flyer anyway. So we're hosting this event that's happening a couple of Saturdays from now, and it's a bike ride that includes stops where residents tell their stories from their front porches, and it's a community event as we're going to launch right across the street at MASH.
Okay, I haven't seen him. No, okay.
Leather? Yeah. Point that up.
Point that up. Right. Right there at 3 o'clock?
Yep, 3 o'clock.
All right.
You have music and food and everything.
All right.
Yep. Okay. I need storytellers. So you can go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So that's so. I was literally about to email her.
Okay, so
like actually trying to email her. So I need a storyteller. So
Okay.
I created this bike ride. It's a bike ride that includes stops where residents of this neighborhood use their front porch as a stage to tell their story.
Oh, okay.
So it's a stoop to stoop storytelling bike ride.
Oh.
And we're launching from MASH Detroit.
Okay.
And so basically we need storytellers from the Cornerstone,
Morningside.
Morningside, or even East English.
Right. 13482 7539.
I was typing in my email address bar. It's Sandra Cobb. I couldn't find it. I'm like, dang, man. Like literally, like it was like 20 minutes ago.
Beautiful.
Number 17. Yeah, we'll be right here. You'll see about 50 bikes.
I'll be here.
Yeah, all right.
I just got one too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'd love to have you with us.
I'll be here all the time.
All right, cool.
Yep. Y'all be safe out here.
You too. Yep. Today we came to the Eastside Community Network building, invited by Orlando Bailey, holding it down on the East Side, and we basically came together and we talked about how to basically tell a really good story in a concise way.
So I'd like for you to kind of think about your story in that way. Give me a little bit of context of who you are. Give me a little bit of context around what was a conflict that you experienced, or what was a question that you grappled with, and then how did you kind of answer this question? Or what was that? I'm sorry. What was that point that made you like really engage with that question, and then what was the resolution? Okay, so kind of exactly how this moment is structured.
I am always looking for ways to boost the East Side. It's my home, it's where I'm from, and I'm proud of my community. And so anytime I get a chance to help us shine, I'm gonna do it. The people here are very passionate about their neighborhoods and they're innovative. I mean, we've had every reason to quit and give up, but we don't. We innovate when we have a bunch of vacant land. Now it's known as open space, right? And so we're coming up with ways to beautify it and make it something new. People care about their property, they care about each other, and that's why I love my neighborhood. I want people to feel inspired about the possibilities.
So I am the wife of one husband and the mom of 4 amazing boys. And again, we got married, we started our family over here, we're raising 4 sons, and those same sort of age-old challenges began to creep up on us as we're thinking about wanting to give our kids the best opportunities. We still had those challenges with schools and safety in the neighborhood. And an interesting story about when we first came back to the neighborhood, we have been here just a few months when our oldest son was playing in the back of the house and he had a gun put on him. You know, my husband is freaking out and frantic, and he comes in and tells me, and I'm freaking out and frantic and thinking like, did we make the right decision and all of that? But we prayed about it. We knew this is where we were called, and we decided that we were not going to move from this place. We know we made the right choice for us. We know that Detroit is on its way up. We're glad to be a part of that. We're glad for our families to be a part of this story. And thank you all for wanting to come out and experience the neighborhood, experience the community. And thanks for stopping by to visit my home.
We moved from Grosse Pointe Park, where we raised our children, to East English Village in 1992. We decided to rent for a year, and then after a year found it to be just a wonderful community where I knew more neighbors than any place we've ever lived, and so we decided to purchase the home. So we've lived here for almost 24 years. Oh, quality of life. It's all about quality of life. When I tell people, I was in the Denver airport in June, and somebody was flying back, and they said, is your home in Detroit, or are you going there for business? And I said, oh no, I live in Detroit. And they said, well no, where do you live? And I said, I live in Detroit. My husband and I are so happy that we are still around. We have been big proponents of the city forever. It's just a terrific neighborhood. On the day after the move-in, there was a soft tap at the door. I looked out, and there was this little lady, elderly, just tiny, wearing a big floppy hat, garden style, and Himalayan print flowing pants, and a long white braid down her back. She introduced herself as Catherine Max, known to all as Katie, and she indicated that she was our next-door neighbor and welcomed us to the neighborhood. The second summer that we were here, we were out in the backyard talking, and she pointed to this spindly twig growing between the hedges and said, what do you think? Do we pull it out or do we let it go and grow? I just sort of looked and shook my head, and she said, it's an oak tree, probably the result of a squirrel that planted an acorn there. And she warned me that it could get to be quite tall. Well, I had no shade on my side of the yard, so I said, oh, let's let it go. Never did I anticipate that this little tiny acorn would grow to be more than 50 feet tall, and that is the tree that is the result of our friendly squirrel. On September 3rd, 2011, the day after my birthday, Catherine Max passed from this world. Her legacy, that giant oak tree that continues to grace our yard, and her indelible footprints that still remain in my heart.
Well, I wanted to share my experience on why and how I moved onto the block and inspire people to move back to the east side, because people think the east side is a bad place.
Why do you think people think that?
Because the news just confuses people sometimes. I plan to share how our area is a nice welcoming place and what we do, and how our block club is one big family. I hope sharing my story spread the loves on the east side.
So I'm Damien. I lived here for 7 years with my mom and dad, and I'm gonna tell y'all the story about how my dog ran away. We went to the Humane Society, nobody saw her. Still was disappointed because can't find my dog. And then my dad and my mom decided to post an ad on Nextdoor. Y'all heard of that? Well, it's this little website where you can post things that you lost, found, or whatever, and people help you find them. So we posted an ad on Nextdoor saying Coco was missing, gave her a description, and somebody commented it and said they saw Coco on Otter Drive in Yorkshire, which is actually down the street that way. So we get back home, and guess who's in the front seat? Coco. All happy and smiling. She has a scar on her back, which I was so mad that she got, because, a dog is part of your life, and you just feel so bad when something happens to them. So, Coco, if you're out there, and if you hear me talking, please come home, because we lost her again. She's usually in the backyard, but she's not here. The only one that's here is Roscoe. He's usually in this window barking, losing his mind. Y'all want to be Roscoe?
Yeah, I do.
I want this. Roscoe, come here. This is the infamous Roscoe. He's bad.
I'm just really excited to see this come to fruition, and I'm excited to see you all in my neighborhood. And so I've lived here for the past 3 years. Native East Sider, have lived on the east side of Detroit my entire life, And I'm really proud to call this neighborhood home and actually to call this block home. So
I usually don't talk about myself a whole lot, but the experience itself is wonderful. What does community mean to me? It means my family, actually. I really didn't mean to get this involved in the community at all. I don't know if I would have done this anywhere else. How cool is that? Well, I'm Glenn Urquhart. I live here with my wife and 2 kids. I have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. I took my kids to get out of the city a little bit. We went to a farm about an hour and a half away, and I get a call from my neighbor Sam, and he says, "You've been broken into." My heart just dropped into my stomach. I can't even tell you what that felt like. And English is not his first language, so he kept on saying to me, don't worry, I took care of everything, I gotta go. I just got broken into, and you gotta go? What, so I was a little freaked out, to say the least. And then I got another call from police officer Kevin. He says, "Glenn, don't worry about it. We got your bike back, we got your stuff." And then my other neighbor back here calls me, the last one. "Don't worry, I already sent my son up to Home Depot. They're boarding up your building as we speak." I mean, have you ever heard of such a thing? I mean, my neighbors around here are great. We need more exposure over here. We got good people, and that's just one example of my neighbors. There are tons of other stories that I could go into, but Cornetta told me I only have 5 minutes, so.
I think once enough people see, hey, we're all in this together as a collective, I think greater things are bound to happen for Detroit. So that's what I can appreciate. Everybody's different take on, what we call home.
This is my first experience with anything like this, like bike riding through Detroit or anything. So I think it's a really unique opportunity, and I'm really glad I got a chance to hear about it. She's actually the one that brought me here today. And I think what they also bring is their own history to it, especially living where I live, which is like the Midtown area. It's new. Everything about it and everything that's supposed to be so exciting about it is the stuff that's new. And I think getting a chance to come here and hear everyone's stories, it's about the history of Detroit. It's about the people that have been here, that have seen it change, and kind of their experiences through that. So I think that's what I like the best about it, for sure.
So Ms. Harvey, I just met you here on the corner of Mack and Alter, and what did you tell me?
I told you that I had a story that I'd like to tell about my home. I have a home on East Grand Boulevard, and I think it has a story to be told. And like most homes, older homes, there's always a story to be told. So maybe next year you guys could hear my story.
Pedal the porch. Ride with us, grind with us, shine with us. Watch your blind spots.